Greeting of the day. This is Devan Sharma.
And myself, Rohit Chaudhary. So today we both will be going to have a short webinar or a presentation on the topic introduction to machine learning. So basically, this will be an introductory part of machine learning. Our first question is that what is machine learning? So first, let's read this definition. Then we will discuss about the machine learning. So it is written that machine learning is a growing technology which enables computer to learn automatically from the past data. So we all know that it is a growing technology. So basically, what is machine learning? So means any machine or any computer which can learn from the data or from the previous experience, that is been known as machine learning. For example, we are humans, so consider yourself as a machine. We have gained knowledge by studying books, reading books. So slowly by gaining knowledge, we are making ourselves more knowledgeable. So same way the machine works. So anything around us or any machine around us which acts as a human, we can call it as machine learning. So it has various terminologies and terms which are being used in machine learning. So and it is been used like building mathematical models, making predictions. Like nowadays we can see weather forecasting, and and so many different applications are there of machine learning where machine learning is used. So this was a basic definition and understanding of machine learning. Then so this is a diagram which will make you more clear about the machine learning. So here in this diagram it is a human. So the human is saying I can learn everything automatically from experience, and asking from machine that can you learn. Okay, so the machine is giving answer, yes, I can also learn from past data with the help of machine learning. So basically this is machine learning, the process by which a machine gains knowledge and learn, that is the machine learning. So I hope this is clear that what is basically machine learning. So now, before going further, there are some terminologies which are being used in machine learning. So here the data set, algorithm, model, features, label, and attributes. We will discuss all about them. And first of all, the data set is one of the most important part of the machine, because without data, machine will not be getting the knowledge. So the more data we give, the more stronger, knowledgeable a machine will become. So see data set. So in data set there are different data set. Like training data set is different, validation set, test set. So training set, like the majority of data after creating the model, so that is the training set. We see that it is working properly or not. Then after that again we pass the validation data. This is a 20 to 30% of the data to check that algorithm model is properly working. And at last, when all the things are complete, like training set has been passed, validation set has been passed, and we have judged that our machine is model is working properly, then we pass the test set, that is the final to the whole machine learning model. Now we will see what is model. So in next slide, yeah, so this is first, let's see, these are the training sets. Basically this is a data of, we can say, a bank. So in this model, like we are passing the various attributes. These are the attributes like age, gender, married, child. These are all known as attributes. So like we are passing the various fields like first age 25 female. So by this data, the model is predicting that whether that person will able to repay the loan or not, or whether to give the loan to that person. If for example, if age is 25, gender is female, married, zero children, so of course this person will be having less expenses, because he's not married, she's not married, she is having not any children, so there's no school fees. So the machine will able to predict it, yeah, she can repay the loan easily, or whether to give loan to she or not. So first we pass a training set, that is usually 70 to 80% of the data. Then that's the validation set, usually that after checking the model is working properly or not. And at last it is a test set when the final model is created. So this was a basic and this whole thing is known as a data set. Then so far we are somewhat clear about what is machine learning and what are the terminologies. So now how it works, we have discussed the data set, model. So what are all these things? So let's see this. So basically what happens, the as we've seen that model is a set of data plus algorithms. Basically, this is our machine learning algorithms. There are different kinds of algorithms and different types of machine learning, which we'll be seeing further. So first, what happened? This is a set of data input pass data. This is a collection of data. This data is been given to the algorithm, and this building logical models. This model analyzes this whole data and algorithm, and then after building the model, the new data is given, and it predicts all the things, whichever type of model we are creating. So this was the basic process of machine learning. So then there are classification of machine learning. So machine learning is been classified in various types, that is supervised, reinforcement, unsupervised, and all are having different uses and different purposes. And in that, like supervised learning, they are further classified, like regression, then it is further classified to linear regression, then classification, which is again a type of supervised machine learning, then clustering unsupervised, association unsupervised. So like we have just read now Devansh will be further telling us that what is supervised learning, what happens in supervised learning, what is unsupervised learning. So now let's know that. Over to you, Devansh.
Thank you, Rohit. So many of you have wondered that there are many types of machine learning, but why to classify only these three? Because it's the on the basis of the learning, how the machine learns, the process from it learns is classified into these three kind: the supervised, unsupervised, and reinforced machine learning. So here we have supervised machine learning. It is clear from the name that these kind of algorithms are somehow supervised by a third person and any other real life person. So we can read out the definition. It is the type of machine learning in which machines are trained using well labeled training data, and on basis of that data machine predicts the output. Also there is a third person which inherits all the properties and maintains the data sets and all. Next slide please. How supervised machine learning works. We'll having algo here so it can explain. In supervised learning, models are trained using labeled dataset. For example, take a juice shop. They serve two kinds of juices. One is a strawberry, the other one is mango. So the datasets will be labeled as strawberry and mango according to the preference of the user. And we can predict whether it is a sunny day, whether it is a summer or a winter day. So we can predict whether which drink to serve. Model learns about each data type. For example, mango is usually served in summer season, whereas strawberry is available throughout the season. So the ML algo will try to serve these drinks on the basis of that data, whether it is a summer season or it is any other season of the year. So we'll move on to the next step. Once the training process is completed, the model is tested on the basis of that data, and it is known as a subset of training set, and then it predicts the output. So the data is first tested, then it is put to real life. Next slide please. Here is a flow chart. We can see the labeled data. There are three types of shape. One is hexagon, the other one is a square, and the third one is triangle. We have created the three labels: hexagon, triangle, and square. So these three labels will accordingly be put on the data, the pre-labeled data. The model is trained, then the test data is passed. For example, we are here passing the square shape and the triangle shape. It will be predicted according to the label data and will be given a label triangle and square, and will have our output. There are some other algos used which Rohil will be explaining.
Yeah. So Devansh has explained that what is supervised learning, and in supervised learning, the data is labeled, which means the data is given the name. Like all of us are having names, so we are labeled. All humans are labeled because we are having our names. So likewise, in supervised learning, the data is labeled. So supervised learning is further divided into two types. That is regression, and classification. So first of all, let's see what is regression. So basically, in regression, the output variable is a real number, which means that it plots a linear graph, and there are different kinds of regression also. So it is being used for predicting of continuous variables such as weather forecasting, market trends. Means a continuous value. Like here, this you can see that it is basically a graph which is been plotted. It is showing that weight and height. So if a weight of person is 40, then the height is 160. So these are the points, and considering all the points, it form a linear graph, and that's the regression. It always form a straight line. That is linear regression. So this was the regression, and further it is been that is classification. So basically, classification predicts the output whether yes or no. See, it used when the output variable is categorical, such as yes, no, male, female, true, false. The main is to identify the category of a given data set, and these algorithms are mainly used to predict the output for the categorical data. So it is been only two, either yes or no, or whatever category it is. So let's see, understand it by an example. So here it is showing that there was a group of students, and we were wanting to predict that how many of them will come to play cricket. So what we have done, like we have created a model which is asking that if the weather is sunny, overcast, rainy, okay. So it is for the in classification it form a tree like structure. So like if sunny, and in sunny humidity, and humidity also whether it is high humidity or normal humidity. So by this model we are wanting to asking that the students, that if the weather is sunny, whether you will be coming or not. So these are saying no, and some are saying yes. Like if the weather is rainy, so if weather is rainy, so it has been asking that students will be coming to school or not. So if rainy weather is school, so some are telling yes we will come, and some are telling we will not come. So by this we are able to predict that yeah, this many students will be on such a date, they will be able to play cricket, they will come to play cricket. If the season is rainy, so this many students will attend or present in the school, and rest will not come to school. So basic, this is the use of classification. So now let's see how unsupervised ML works. So Devansh will be tell you about unsupervised machine learning.
Okay, thank you, Rohit. Unsupervised ML is just a little bit of different from the supervised ML. Here, there is no third person to monitor all the process and algorithms which the data set passes through. Here, the computer is the sole operator to make the decision whether it is okay to declare a new data set, whether it is okay to pass on that data set. It's the decision of the machine. So it is known as unsupervised. There is no need for definition, I think. Next slide, please. Here is a flow chart of that. Here, the input raw data is unlabeled data. It is passed and interpreted, and then the data labels will be prepared according to that data. For example, here we have a dog and a cat. So the machine will identify that it is a cat or it is a dog. There are surely some pre-processed data which the machine has. So for example, it will also have the images of a bird, and it can identify a bird. But if it is not necessary, then the new data set won't be created in the machine. So then the algorithm have the knowledge of the raw data, whether it is a cat or a dog. It is processed and put labels, then afterwards the output is returned. If we take the similar example as we have given in supervised machine learning, we can take the two juices, the mango juice, the strawberry juice. Now the customer wants another juice, for example watermelon. Then there will be a new dataset created for that watermelon by the machine itself, and the user will provide it with that product. Okay, next slide, please. The types will be explained by Rohit. Rohit, take over.
Yeah. So thank you, Devansh. So as Devansh has tell that in unsupervised learning the data is not labeled, and whereas in supervised the data was labeled. So this was also the basic difference between supervised and unsupervised learning. But further, the unsupervised learning is classified into different types. That is clustering and association. So now let's see what is clustering and what is association. So first is clustering. So it is a method of grouping the object into clusters such that object with most similarities remains into a group. Basically, what happens in clustering, we pass all the data sets to the model. And what the model does, it classifies and make the clusters of the similar data. For example, if we pass a data of our college first year students to the model, now we want model to predict that which students in which club. So what the model will do in clustering method, the like for example MCC club, so all the students those who are filled that they are in MCC club, all those will be, one cluster will be of their student, then other cluster like other students were in the we can say DSC club. So one cluster will be formed of all the students those who are in the DSC club. So like this here the clusters are being formed, like here you can see this is a all whole data we have passed, and what the output we are getting, that all the triangles are being separated differently, all the circles are being separated differently, and this purple one shape is separated differently. So this is the basic use of clustering. The cluster analyze finds the commonalities between the data object and categorize them as per the presence and absence of those commodities. So what this we have done here, like this was the whole data and it is been separated in the form of clusters. The model has identified the similar data. So this is what basically happens in the clustering. Then after clustering, it is like association. So now what is association? So basically, many of us use that Amazon, Flipkart. So all this clustering association, all these algorithms are being used in that thing. Like it is used for finding the relationships between variables in the large database. So what is happening? Like Amazon, it's large, all product database is been there on its site, product details, images. Now what happens in association? It form like people who buy X item. Suppose someone buys a bread, also tend to purchase Y butter jam item. What does it means? For example, if I have buyed a cycle from Amazon, so now what will happen, all the things related to cycle, like we can say grips, then cycle lights and brakes, so all the parts related to cycle, it will also suggest us to buy that. So this happens in the association, it associates the things, like it is very clear, like you have brought a jam, so it will show that please buy a bread also, because butter, bread, jam, it is a common. So association rule makes marketing strategy more effective. It's very clear that it makes the marketing strategy more effective. So that is what the association does, and association algorithm is being used. There are various formulas also of this, like clustering. There is a formula of clustering also, association. Here we are just overviewing that what happens in all this. So further is a third type of machine learning, that is reinforcement machine learning. So over to you, Devansh.
Okay, thank you. Unlike the other two we have discussed, which is supervised and unsupervised machine learning, here the machine works and then learns continuously. According to which, for example, we have take and car, for example, a car which is integrated with machine learning technologies. So the driver drives a car through a ditch, and the machine knows the length of the ditch, whether it can pass it or not. So the data set here is pre-inputted. For example, the next time the ditch is much deeper than the previous one, or the one which the machine is holding. So this will be the new data which the machine will experience, and it will be labeled as the new data. It is considered as a reward for the machine. For example, the data itself is a reward for the machine. Here, it works for the reward, and that reward is put through for the next experience. Here, the machine learns from the experience. We should move on to definition if considered. It is the technique in which an agent learns to behave in an environment by performing the actions and seeing the results of those actions. For each good action, the agent gets a positive feedback. For each bad action, the agent gets a negative feedback. So, if the car passes through that deeper ditch, it will be a positive action and the car will increase its value for the passing of a ditch. And if it is a negative reaction, then the other time the car experiences the same situation, it will stop abruptly. Next slide, please. This is an flowchart of that. Here, our agent is a robot. It does some action in an environment. That environment is a maze. So the agent will try to solve the maze. If he sees an wall, then he won't be following that path again. This will be a reward if he passes through the maze and he'll gain some experience. Otherwise, that state will be considered as negative. Okay. Rohit, you will be taking over.
Yeah, okay. So here, like we have now understand that what the machine learning is, what are its type, what is subtypes, and some of it. Now let's see where it is been used. So far we have discussed all about machine learning, but we should know that at this. So these are the companies where the machine learning is used in on daily basis, like Google, Facebook, Amazon, Tesla. Like Devansh just explained us about the reinforcement learning. So we can Tesla is using that reinforcement learning in its cars, driverless cars. So how that car works, it was a part of reinforcement learning that it is not crossing the divider on the road. Then if it observes some vehicle in front of that, so it stops automatically. So all this is a part of reinforcement machine learning. So the in this the product is been tested. For example, if you created a model using reinforcement learning, and if once the car get stuck in the wall, so we will reward a negative point to that model. So next time the model has now gained experience that now I have not stuck in the wall, I have to stop as the wall comes. So this is the experience gained by the model. So that was to reinforcement learning. Like Amazon, we on daily basis, all of us might be buying products from Amazon. So we get suggestions, like if you buy something, so you will get a lots of suggestion related to that products. So you can buy these also. You can get like a combo. Like with this, you can buy these. So all this is a part of machine learning. Like Facebook. So Facebook is been we see the photo tagging, which is a very common feature in all mobile phones, Android, iOS. Like once I have my, if for example in a gallery, once I have told that in this image this person name is Rohit, so in the gallery all other images consisting me, so it will be automatically predicted that yeah, this person was the Rohit. So this is the power of machine learning. So here are the applications of machine learning which will be explained by Devansh.
Okay. Thank you. So here we have a vast variety of the applications of machine learning, which will be automatic language translation. Here, the language is identified itself. For example, I'm speaking in Russian. Then the Russian phrases will be catched up, and a library will get all the data of the Russian language to the convenient language which we want to communicate in. It will translate that data in that language. Many of you have seen the Google Lens. Google Lens translates a signboard and what is written on that signboard into English or Hindi. So that is a live example of automatic language translation. Image recognition, as Rohit have explained, our phone galleries uses it in days. Speech recognition, it is vastly used in many aspects of our life, and so as the security aspects, like Siri and Google uses the voice lock. The next is traffic prediction. The car and also the cameras of the local city uses the traffic prediction algorithms to learn in which area there will be more traffic or what is the best way to pass through that area. Product recommendations, many e-commerce sites use these product recommendations algorithm these days. Self-driving cars, Tesla and Tata is also coming up with self-driving cars, and Hector has already reinforced its technology with many things which is being used for self-driving cars. It's almost there. By 2023 or 2024, Hector will also launch self-driving cars in market. Email spam and malware filtering, that's a technology we are being used for many years. For example, the spam filters are sorted out on the basis of the content and keywords which is being used. And virtual personal assistant, for example, there are many assistants or phone assistant, and being used in offices, etc. Online fraud detection, very main aspect and security these days, because online fraud is at an high advantage for those who are willing to do it, and for those who are easily lured into these frauds, it is a big advantage. Disadvantage, stock market trading, the one which holds the economy stock market of the country. It helps to predict which share will go up on the basis of the mindset of the user. It is fascinating if you think so. Medical diagnosis, for many things in medical terms, machine learning is being used for diagnosis purposes, or either for the prosthetics we are using these days. Like for example, I have to use an prosthetic limb, so the prosthetic limb will be reinforced with machine learning. If an outer environment touches the prosthetic limb will know how to react to that action. Okay, next slide please. Here we can see some live examples. In the first image, the various fruits in a basket are being identified and being labeled as the type. Here we have two fruits, oranges and bananas. So the oranges on the basis of their shape are classified, and the bananas on two. Here in the second one, we have too many cars and they are labeled as cars. So on that basis, the traffic will be predicted on that lane. A car will pass through that lane sufficiently enough time so as not to convey any difficulty. In the third image, there is a satellite view of a traffic. Here we can predict the traffic on a day and how it will be going on the next day basis on the timing. Whether it is office times, then it will be a rush hour, or whether it is a holiday, then it will also be a rush hour. So which route to take? Next slide please.
Yeah, and this one is used in the Google Maps, which we are using daily.
And
Traffic
how it is
prediction.
used, let me tell you that Google is using our own data. Every device does have a GPS. So wherever there is a high density of the devices, there will be higher traffic. So it is not based on the cars, it is actually based on the persons. So it can be flawless sometimes, but nowadays there are changing times where cars are being inbuilt with GPS, every car, the new technology ones especially. The libraries used for machine learning, there are many libraries, but we are including the very main libraries which are being used. Matplotlib and NumPy and Pandas. NumPy is majorly used for array insertion and the prediction of images as an array. The Matplotlib is also used for various machine learning technologies. Here, these are the links. Rohit, can you open those links?
Yeah, okay, I will further carry out. So, so we have seen the applications also. So now these are the various libraries which are being used for the implementation of machine learning. Like in the whole of our PPT, we have seen lots of graphs. So that were all built with the help of Matplotlib. So let's explore it. Basically, Matplotlib is a library which is being used for plotting the graphs using the data sets. So here it is the official website of Matplotlib, matplotlib.org. So anyone who wants to know more about it and want to learn can learn from here. So yeah, this is the matplotlib. So here, like with the help of data set, here it is the data which we have passed. Like these are all the syntax like ax.plot. So with this help of with this we have plot this graph. So this is the purpose of being using the matplotlib. Then let's go to presentation. Then our second library is NumPy, which is numerical pi. Yeah, so it is being used for working of n-dimensional arrays. It is being used for working on arrays. NumPy. This is the another library which is being used for machine learning. So yeah, it is a package that defines a multi-dimensional array object associated fast mat function that operate on it. So this is the NumPy, which is another library, and it is an open source project, so everyone can easily download it and work on NumPy. Then our third library, which is being used in ML, is Pandas. Basically, what happens, like the data which we all have passed to the models and collected so many details. So with the help of Pandas, we can analyze and work on that data. So this is the use of Pandas library. Yeah, so this is the official website of Pandas. We will, and all those who are watching on YouTube, we will share this afterwards on our video description. So you can check all these links. So this is the Pandas. So these three are the main libraries which are heavily used in machine learning. And of course, for implementation and working on something, we need IDs, integrated development environment, and platforms. So here are some platforms which are being commonly used in working for machine learning. So first is the our Anaconda. Yeah, so from here you can download the Anaconda package, and it is consisting of many other tools also, like Spider is also included in the Jupyter notebooks. So all are there on that, which you all can work and code in for machine learning. So then second is a Google Colab, which is also a platform for working on ML. Yeah, so in these notebooks are being saved in our Google Drive. So whenever you will go, you have to log in. Like here, I have no. Yeah, so see, this is my notebook like desktop. Let's open. Yeah, so this is the Google Colab environment. So like, so the it is a like a Jupyter notebook environment where you can code like. Yeah, so this is another platform. Then there is, and from here you can also maintain your GitHub repository also. So there are lots of feature in this. You may explore that all. Then our third ID is Spider. So this is Spider, which is also a very powerful. And the benefit of using Spider is that all these libraries are already been installed in this environment. So you have to not import it separately. Like if you are using PyCharm and others, so in that you have to again import, like you have to import Matplotlib, you have to import NumPy. So this in the using benefit of Spider is that all are pre-installed. So it works really good. Then third ID is PyCharm, which is also a powerful environment. Yeah, so this is a PyCharm, which is also a platform for the ML. So these were some IDs and platform. And here are the references which will be further helping you if someone is interested in knowing about. So this is a Java point. It is a very good website where you will get lots of other languages and ML, AI, all the things. Then Edureka YouTube, Matplotlib organization, and NumPy. So all these are hyperlinks only. We will share them further. And so this was all about the machine learning. We have seen today the types of machine learning and how what is model, what are its different terminologies used in ML, then what is categories, supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement, what are its implementation, where all this is being used. So thanks